I absolutely love people who pay with pennies. Seriously. 4 years ago, I'm cashiering at a wacky mart on a register that holds all the smokes and alcohol. It's 10 p.m. and these two young men, early 20s, come up to the counter. They have 3 random novelty items. I don't remember they were, but it was strange and unusual to get odd items this late at night. Maybe it was for some fraternity. I don't know. It's a college town, so I get weird stuff from frats a lot. I scan the items and tell them their total is 22 point change dollars. Grinning at each other, they reach into their jackets and slam down 2-gallon Ziploc bags, full of only pennies. I stare them in the eye, but they didn't even look back at me. Everyone else in line groaned and went to other registers. These 2 kids knew what they were doing, but they didn't know what they were in for because I prepared for this. I knew this was going to inevitably happen. I grinned with them, because I was gonna get paid during this. These pranksters are here for recreation. This convo occurs between me, ringleader, the other guy was silent and awkward, and a friendly co-worker of mine. Me, is this 22-something dollars? Ringleader, nada. Me, did you count it? Ringleader, nope. Me, are you going to? Ringleader, nope. Me, is it at least 22-something dollars? Ringleader, don't know. Me, nice. Coworker, hey. You guys can use the self-checkout. It can take all of your coins at once. Me, oh, don't worry about it, coworker. Ringleader, nope, don't trust them, lady. Partner laughs. Coworker, what? Why? Ringleader, doesn't count all your change, right? Coworker, I've used them before. It really works. Me, to coworker, I got this. I unpacked the Ziplocs and threw all the pennies on the counter. It was a beautiful, massive crap storm of a mess. And I digged in it. I was Frank in a dumpster in It's Always Sunny. The 2, still averting my gaze, start chuckling as if they were taking away my dignity. They whisper to each other, dude, oh my god, dude, yeah, dude, hilarious. I counted each penny, one by one. My coworker comes up to me. Coworker, guess I'll help you count this. Me, don't worry about it. She looks at me confused. Then she puts on her get down to busy look. Coworker, I got your back. Me, oh, okay. We worked up a system where we counted 10, put them in a pile, then with 10 stacks of 10 pennies we separated them, making $1 piles. We made progress slowly but surely. Some customers came to the line, but we advised them to get to another line. Some of them looked at us confused, but when they saw the counter full of pennies they understood. Some decided to wait, but when they realized it wasn't going to take just a few minutes they took their leave. Another register in the liquor department opened, so it wasn't too bad for other customers. We get to about $12, about 10 minutes in, until I knocked over the piles. Coworker, neon tonsil. Me, oops. Sorry. Coworker looks at my grin. I give her a wink and tilt my head, motioning her to leave. Coworker, you know what, I think I better let you do this. Me, ha, alright. Coworker leaves. I look at the 2 guys. They are absolutely stunned at the fallen piles of pennies. Me, to ringleader, yeah, I'm going to have to count all of this again. Ringleader, okay. I started from 0. I count slower than ever, and made my way back up. The duo is entirely silent. I get to about $7, when suddenly I say, me, drats. I lost count. I better start all over again. Ringleader, really? Me, oh yeah man. Ringleader, why? Me, I lost count, sir. I could be in trouble if my register doesn't have the right amount of cash, and I don't want to rip you off. Ringleader, nada. It's about an hour later. My manager walks past, looks at me. I smile at him, and he looks at the counter. He walks away without a word. I eventually count all the change and surprisingly they had only $18. Me. I think that this is $18. The duo has been dead silent. They look done for the night. Me, I'll recount it. I effing recounted it. Me, I think this is actually 19 something dollars. Without a word, the ringleader whips out a $5. Me, seriously? You had cash? Ringleader, needed to get rid of my change. Me. No problem. I'll just recount this again. I want to make perfectly sure that this is $19, since I counted $18 the first time. Ringleader, are you kidding me? I shake my head no, completely serious. He takes out a $20 bill straight out of his pocket and throws it at me. My coworker gives the biggest what the F face. Internally, I die as well, because they were smart enough to have a backup plan. And the fact that he was touching his cash in his pocket the entire time kind of messed with me. I take the cash, do the transaction, give him his change, thanked him and wished him a good night. The two start to put their pennies back in the Ziploc bags and I didn't help them at all. I watched them just as how they watched me. Lots of pennies dropped to the floor, but they didn't care to pick them up. It looked like their souls were sucked out of them. It was past midnight and I clocked out way past when I was supposed to. A lot of my coworkers gave me a thumbs up or told me good night. Even my manager told me good job. The only two words he ever said to me. Went to bed at the dorms after such a great petty penny night and crashed. Strange to say, but I'd love to count pennies again. TLDR, I recounted 1900 pennies like 5 times. Was it 5 times? I better count again. Edit. Thanks for the pennies, strangers. Girl does 0% of the work on a huge project and gets 0% of the credit. This story takes place my 3rd year of college. I was taking a class where the entire grade was determined by a semester-long final project. We were supposed to be in groups of 3 on the project, but the 3rd guy in our group had more sense than me and bailed early. This left just me and lazy girl hereafter known as LG. LG didn't do anything the entire semester. I would ask her to work on pieces of the project, but she always had an excuse for why it wasn't done yet, or in her case started. Now I didn't want any confrontation with this girl, as she was my friend at the time, but I finally lost it one night towards the end of the semester. I'd asked her to meet at my house to work on the project, but something important came up. Fed up with this one-sided partnership, I decided to air my woes at the local bars. And guess who I run into? And LG and her boyfriend drinking. She made up some bullshit excuse and I made a plan. I powered through the entire assignment, except for the conclusion which I asked LG to finish. I held out exactly 0 hope that she would finish this section, so I quickly finished it myself and turned in my project with a little note to the teacher. The note detailed how I had done literally everything for the project and that despite my best efforts, I could not get LG to contribute. I said that I was turning in my version and that our conclusions section may differ as I'd asked her to actually do that part herself. So here's a little tidbit about our final projects. We each had to turn one in. LG here not only didn't do the conclusion, she didn't turn in a project at all. She tried calling and bitching at me for not giving her credit, to which I went off on her for not doing shit on the entire project. I mentioned how I even gave her the opportunity to turn in my work for a grade if she'd only do one thing. She hung up after that, and that was the last time we spoke. TLDR, girl spends the entire semester screwing around thinking I'll do the project for her. I do 90% of the project for her, and she still fails because she couldn't even turn it in. Cashier had my back. This is rather mild compared to most of the posts on this sub, but I figured you all would appreciate this moment as much as I did. I was in line at a grocery store cashing out a 12pk. A woman walks towards me and takes her place in line. However, instead of standing behind me in line, she decided to stand right beside me. The woman in front of me finishes her transaction and what do you know, the lady beside me actually pushes past me and tries to cut me. Honestly, in my head, I was about to just let her go because she clearly was in a much bigger rush than I, and I personally didn't mind waiting an extra 2 minutes. No big deal to me. However, the awesome cashier, who has cashed me out frequently, says to her, "I'm sorry but she was waiting here before you." The lady scoffs and steps aside. With a huge smile I make sure to have a nice and lengthy "How's your day?" "Yeah, thank God it's Friday." "Did you do anything fun on Halloween?" Chat with the cashier. She knew, I knew. The whole time I felt the lady in a rush's eyes burning a hole in the back of my head, and I was just loving every minute of it. Thanks, awesome cashier.